Alright, our first lesson with foam paint is how to set up the paint. And I've got some paper plates here, they're small sized, and I've set up a palette just by spritzing out some of the foam paint colors on top. I'll show you how I did that. You give every child or every two children a palette like this to work with, and chubby brushes or any big open bristle brush is a good way to push around the paint. Another must-have with the foam paint is paper towel for doing the polishing. And crayons are always nice to have on hand. There are techniques without the crayons, but crayon resist is really great. Alright, our next lesson here is how to do the swish technique. And I have a paper plate here, and I'm going to swish some of the paint across my page like that. I'll swish a little bit more. And what you see is this wonderful rainbow of color. At that point, I need to get my second paper towel, my clean paper towel, and clean it off. And this is what's called polishing. You want to polish off all the extra paint, a very important step with the foam paint. That leaves it nice and dry and ready to either cut, collage, or hang on the wall. The third lesson here is the pitter-patter technique. And what I'm going to do is take some paper towel and pitter-patter, basically kind of pat or pound my color onto my paper. And you see I get a totally different texture than I did with the swish. I can polish that, or if I want to maintain the exact pattern, I can first pat it and then polish it off. And if you compare the swish to the pitter-patter, you see you have a totally different kind of color and pattern happening. And I've used some simple crayons here, and I've taken a heavy layer of wax, in other words, pressing really hard to get a lot of the wax down, to make a nice crayon design. And on top of that, I'm going to take my foam paint and do a pitter-patter on top. And at first it'll cover your whole design, but during the next step, when you polish it off, you'll see how nicely your original crayon pops out. Nice and dry, again ready to cut, collage, or hang on the wall.